Hi, George Cook with Sage. Here's an interesting scenario. As a bank angler, bank rat, as I call our tribe, out here in a spot like this, working the bank. A lot of times the best fishing spots, some of these little secluded coves like the one you find right here, have got really troublesome backcast conditions. Backcast conditions that are, not for the afraid. This is a spot that would be best fished from a boat, but hey, I'm working the bank. I'm one of the bank rats. So I've got some options here. Traditional backcasts, a little precarious, but there are some options. One is just some good old solid roll casting. That'll pluck me out there 35 feet, giving me a nice area to work this leech pattern in this bay. And there's several things I can do within my roll cast. A traditional one, where I simply come back, form my little D-loop, and fire it out there. Now, there's some adaptive things I can do to really up my distance. One is what's called the Perry poke, which is a form of a spay cast that I can sit here, pop out some line, dump it in front of me, and then come back and hit it, okay? I can also use the use of a double haul, and as you can see here, the wind just picked up. And we often think of the double haul as just something we do with a typical fly cast, but you can utilize a portion of the double haul, the secondary one, right there in a roll cast to develop more power. Boom, haul it, boom. That got me out there 35, 40 feet in a tough spot. I'm going to try to make a nice traditional backcast, and one of the things that I'm going to absolutely do in this scenario is I'm going to guide my cast through my backcast. So I'm visibly going to turn and watch. I'm guiding it back through there. I got a gap, find it, fire. If I don't look, I'm kind of subject to crash and burn. So I want to watch that backcast materialize, flow through this gap I've got to work with through the cattails, see the instant right before it straightens out, and come forward. You can also use some cast called a steeple cast. And this spot doesn't necessarily require it, but there's some bluffs right around the corner here that do require such a thing. What's a steeple cast? Literally one that you're throwing it much more up than you are out and back. What's that look like? Well, here's a demonstration. Up, up. Show that one more time. Roll cast to get it started. Up, up. So I'm driving to a stop literally at about 12:30 on the clock versus, say, a traditional backcast at 2 o'clock. That sends my fly back, but mostly upward, clearing obstruction. That's a steeple cast. This particular line here is what's called an outbound from Rio, originally developed for beach fishing, both east and west coast. Stripers, bluefish on the east coast, Puget Sound beach fishing out west. It's an integrated shooting head of 37.5 feet in the standard outbound. Okay? It's got an integrated running line, so it's a shooting head, a modern day shooting head at 37.5 feet. This is a killer lake line. It's really not recognized as a lake line, but it's a fabulous lake line. And the reason is, it's got such great distance capability that I can make an 80-foot cast, even in this precarious backcasting area, tules, grass, sagebrush. I could make 2 sequence backcast and be 80 feet out there. And in this wind that's now starting to approach out of the east, I need all the line speed I can get. Let's check that out one more time. So I'm going to bring it in, roll cast to straighten it out. Backcast 1, backcast 2, fire. Up, looks like I hit something that time. Take your chances out here. Try to finish strong on a good one. Again, roll cast, backcast 1, backcast 2, boom, out there. Clear obstruction, get good solid distance, sink, drop, stay down low, connected, strip, pause, strip, pause. Rod tip in the water, totally connected, waiting on the phone call. Be ready.